The Biden administration is hoping that you and I will quickly forget what just happened in Afghanistan. We'll quickly forget the 13 U.S. servicemen killed. We'll quickly forget the Americans left behind, that we will move on. That's their goal. Here, by the way, is a Pentagon spokesman minimizing the Americans stranded in Afghanistan and basically saying, well, what's so unusual about that? Listen.
How does diplomacy get those people out of the Taliban-controlled Afghanistan?
It's not completely unlike the way we do it elsewhere around the world. I mean, we have Americans that get stranded in countries all the time.
Wow, happens all the time. You know, you forgot your passport and you can't get back, or you lost it in France and, you know, you're stranded there for a while. Well, there's a little bit of a difference in those isolated situations, and America, having drawn all these Americans to work and teach and serve in Afghanistan in this capacity or that, and then when it comes time to get them out, sorry, we're out of there. We'll leave you behind. Gee, you know, this happens all the time. The callousness of this, really shocking. It's almost like they're daring the American people to do something about it. This is who we are. We're running the country. It's our decision. Nancy Pelosi, pretty much in the same vein. A group of Republican congressmen wanted to read the names of the 13 servicemen killed. And Pelosi and the Democrats blocked it. Now, you could say that this was kind of out of political embarrassment. They didn't want the American people. They don't want the solemnity of all this, the gravity of it, the sheer negligence of it to be apparent. So they're trying to sort of push it all under the rug. But think about the contrast between refusing to let the names of these servicemen even be read on the floor, on the one hand, and Pelosi, Schumer, and all these Democrats taking a knee, kind of obsequiously bowing and scraping before, you know, George Floyd. So they don't want to honor the servicemen, but they want to honor a guy who's a home invader, a drug abuser, a check forger. I mean, basically, if these are your heroes, you just might be a Democrat. Now, very disturbingly, Jake Sullivan, the National Security Advisor, was just on television with Stephanopoulos, and he dropped an idea that has not really gotten the traction I think it deserves. The United States is getting ready to pay ransoms to the Taliban, to give them huge amounts of money. Now, Sullivan was kind of aware this is a delicate topic, and so he broached it in this way. He said, in effect, he goes, first, you know, we've been giving aid to Afghanistan for a long time, and there are a lot of humanitarian needs over there. Well, there might be, but when a country becomes your deadly enemy, you don't normally supply development aid to those countries. So not only was Sullivan saying that there could be ways for this development aid to continue, and then he was offering what clearly was a kind of carrot to the Taliban, essentially saying that our money is your leverage. So if there are Americans left over there, if there are other Afghan allies we want to get out, we're going to be willing to give you, the Taliban, our enemy, and in fact, now the strongest terrorist regime in the world, we're willing to give you taxpayer money. Let's remember, this is not Jake Sullivan's money. It's not Anthony Blinken's money. It's not Biden's money. It's your money. And it's going to be going to the Taliban under this administration. So while the efforts continue to shift the blame, you know, blame Trump, blame the American people. Here's an article in The Atlantic. Afghanistan is your fault. The American people now has what it wanted. Here is Max Boot in the Washington Post. Who's to blame for the deaths of 13 service members in Kabul? We all are. We all are. You are. I am. Because of what we did to do what? Apparently because we were unwilling to support the war effort, or we were what? Who planned this evacuation? Who organized it? Who botched it? It was Biden from start to finish, and now the United States is in the groveling role. Here's General Kenneth McKenzie. He's calling the Taliban, quote, our generous host nation. So we have to now kowtow to these people. We have to prepare to give them aid and money. Why? All because of an operation in which the Americans who have been left behind could have been gotten out in the first place. But the Biden people are hoping that by the time the midterms come along next year, this will be a long and distant memory for most Americans.